Hello and welcome. This is the first in a series of videos that will show how to no-hit Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, all bosses. Now I've done this before, so if you've seen my previous videos, much of this will look very familiar. However, that was last year. A lot has changed since then. We've made some upgrades. We have improved some strategies, we've shifted some bosses around to make the run a bit more practical. And most importantly, that run used Homeward to escape Forlorn. This run will not use any magic whatsoever. This run will also feature commentary, so you can listen to me talk. I can hopefully explain some things a bit better, and you can all get extremely tired of hearing my voice. Now, nothing really happens at the start of the game. We lit a bonfire, we collected a soul and a torch, pretty standard. Up ahead here, we're going to drop down to collect the Morning Star. This is going to help kill a crystal lizard, and the extra weight can be convenient for some RTSR setups. You can also grab the binoculars up here if you want. I don't need them, so I'm going to skip them. And we go from there. Now our next stop is Malin. We're going to use the short sword to kill him. There is a guaranteed setup with the short sword. We're going to hit him 4 times while he's sitting down in quick succession. Make sure to stop at 4 and wait for your stamina to come back, because if you hit him a 5th time, he'll get up and attack. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. I'm going to wait for stamina, hit him once more to get him to stand up, wait for his iframes to wear off, and spam attacks. Works every time. And that gets us the Sildora set, which is very important. It boosts total souls gained by about 24% from the whole set after defeating enemies, so we're going to equip that after bosses for a lot more money. Also going to grab this Titanite shard. In most runs that shard is optional, in this run it is not. Every single shard before the Rotten split is necessary. We cannot afford to miss a single one, so make sure you know where they are. You may have also noticed we've chosen the Swordsman as our starting class. There are really only 2 classes to choose from in a no-hit run, Swordsman or Explorer. The Explorer has some extra health, which is useful if you want to go down into the pit very early, but we don't need to do that in this route. Explorer also has more starting ADP, which turns out doesn't actually matter. It gives you 1 extra iframe at the start of the game, but after Dragonrider, the Swordsman and Explorer will have the same ADP, same iframes, but the Swordsman will have an advantage in Dex, Strength, and Endurance. And those 4 stats, Dex, Strength, Endurance, and ADP, are the only 4 stats that matter in this run. So it comes out to a 6 level advantage in favor of the Swordsman. And that's pretty important. 6 levels is worth about 120,000 souls in the mid-game, and upwards of 300k at the endgame. That is a big deal. The Explorer has a few other advantages. It has a bunch of extra starting items, but we don't really need those. It has a Ferrous Lockstone, a Repair Powder, extra life gems. We don't really care. He has Witching Urns. We don't need Witching Urns. They're only really helpful for killing Malin, and we have the short sword for that. There's one more item, but we're going to take a quick detour first. Let's get around this guy. Grab this. That's worth about 1,100 souls. And it doesn't present a whole lot of extra risk. You could skip it, but it's right at the start of the game, and it's not too difficult, so you might as well. Anyway, back to the Explorer. The Explorer also starts with 4 aromatic oozes, and those would be useful. They're pretty hard to come by at the start of the run, so we would like to have those, but in the end, they're not necessary, and the Swordsman's extra levels are just more valuable in the end. So, we've chosen the Swordsman, and that's what we're going to run with. We're going to lure this guy out and run around him. And now it's time for Dragonrider. You've probably seen this 100 times. We're just going to make him fall to his death. And down he goes. Now I'm going to leave the Sildora set on for Licia, because there's no reason to take it off yet. Might as well get a few extra souls. She's worth a fair amount of souls at this stage of the game, so it's a pretty good deal. Now, Malin did nothing wrong, so go ahead and wait for Malin. But don't spare any tears for Licia, because she is not a friend. Not only is she a scam artist who will try to charge us for entrance into Huntsman's Copse, she's also an invader. If we leave her alive, she will invade us later and try to kill us. So we really need to take her out. And there she goes. Okay, now I'm going to drop these extra armors off in the item box so I don't accidentally equip them after a boss instead of Sildora set. And then we're going to travel to Majula and call that a segment.